Hello, and welcome to Candidate Profiles. Each election season, we allow candidates running for state, local, and federal offices within the areas that affect Colerain, Forest Park, and Green Hills to record a message up to 5 minutes in length for you, the voting audience at home. Waycross Community Media takes no position on candidates or issues, but urges you to vote responsibly on November 4th.
Well, I'd like to talk to you about Issue 30. Issue 30 is a contract and resolution that will allow Colerain Township to partner with the City of Harrison to implement a 1% earnings tax within the Colerain corridor. This is possible through the creation of a Joint Economic Development Zone, also known as a JED-Z. And the Joint Economic Development Council that was created as a result of new legislation created the Colerain Township corridor, which basically runs along Colerain Avenue from Struble, including Rumpke, to the north side of Galbraith, and includes all the intersecting streets of contiguous property. And it's important to note that it's contiguous commercial property. We are not able to do a JED-Z that incorporates an elector or a residential property. So JED-Zs have been done throughout the state. Sycamore Township actually did 3 that required 3 votes on the ballot. We in Colerain have chosen to do 1 JED-Z, and that proposed JED-Z is the Colerain corridor. The purpose of our JED-Z is not broad. We could have chosen to use our funding for streets, public infrastructure, police, fire, administration, zoning, but we have chosen to stay very focused on public infrastructure. Since 2001, which was the last time our road levy passed, it failed in 2001, we have not had a revenue stream to address our public streets. Up until 2011, when the state cut our budget by $1.5 million, we were using our estate tax to fix our streets. With that funding source now gone, we have no way of improving our streets, curbs, gutters, and sidewalks throughout the community. This JED-Z will allow us to generate approximately $1 million to invest in the public infrastructure, not only within the Colerain corridor, but also in the neighborhoods that surround that. Economic development is at the forefront. We believe that deteriorating neighborhoods, house foreclosures, property values that continue to deteriorate are all things that threaten strong economic development. So it's important for us to invest in our neighborhoods so that our businesses and our residents continue to thrive and prosper. This JED-Z is a little different than a typical municipal income tax in that while we will be taxing a 1% earnings tax for the zone, it only impacts those businesses and individuals that work in the Colerain corridor. If you are a resident or a business that is outside the Colerain corridor, then you will not be impacted by this 1% earnings tax. If you work or you have a business in the Colerain corridor, you would pay a 1% income tax, and at the end of the year, all residents and businesses impacted by this zone could apply for a grant through the Colerain Community Improvement Corporation, and we will send you a check back equal to 100% of the tax paid into the zone. This allows us to protect our residents and businesses from additional tax burden. Those non-residents that work in the zone will have to pay the 1% tax. They will not get a grant back from our Community Improvement Corporation. However, they may be subject to some credits from other municipalities depending on where they reside. Some have determined that this is an unfair tax. Our responsibility is to advocate for the residents and businesses of Colerain, and we believe this is one option to address our public infrastructure without increasing the tax burden. We do not lose business to other communities that don't have an income tax. If you look around Colerain, most municipalities have an income tax. Let's look at Rumpke as an example. We know that Rumpke is not in support of this issue. They say it's a job killer, but yet they moved a recycling center to St. Bernard. There's a 2.1% income tax in the city of St. Bernard, and those employees are subject to that tax. They could have kept that recycling center here in Colerain and not paid a tax, but they chose to move that. So we do not believe that this JED-Z is a job killer. We believe it's necessary to provide public infrastructure to continue to strengthen our neighborhoods, our community, and to promote economic development. Your for vote for Issue 30 on November 4th will allow us to invest approximately $1 million a year in our streets, our curbs, our gutters, and not increase the tax burden for the residents and businesses of Colerain Township. Thank you.
My name is Fred Condrada. I'm the Democrat nominee for U.S. Congress. I've always felt a calling to serve because of the freedoms we enjoy here in America. I answered that call by serving in the U.S. Air Force for 28 years and achieving the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. The highlights of my career include flying combat missions during the '91 Persian Gulf War, hunting down war criminals in Bosnia, serving at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, and at the Pentagon for 6 years. I retired from the Air Force in 2011, and now I'm a pilot for Delta Airlines, an attorney, and small business owner. I believe in America, her institutions, and Constitution, but I worry because our country only succeeds when it is guided by leaders who are committed to serving their constituents. My opponent has been rated the #1 most extreme conservative voting member in the entire U.S. Congress by the nonpartisan National Journal. "There's not a lot of room to my right," he said last week in the Inquirer. In fact, there is no room to his right. In a gridlock Congress with an approval rating under 15%, Ohio's 1st District needs a moderate representative and a leader who is committed to working together to create a better future. We must recognize that job creation is our top priority. Ohio ranks 47th out of 50 states in job creation. We need a plan to revitalize our economy and expand the middle class of Southwest Ohio. As your next congressman, I will create and lead a bipartisan jobs leadership team that will bring together Democrats, Republicans, independents, business, labor, elected officials, community leaders, and citizens to focus on job creation and improving opportunities for the region. We need to prioritize expanding the middle class and putting Ohioans back to work. I believe rebuilding our infrastructure is vital to a healthy economy. When I look at America's crumbling roads and bridges, in particular our own Brent Spence Bridge, I see the potential for new jobs and opportunities. Our economy relies heavily on sound, functioning, and reliable infrastructure to keep the flow of commerce moving. It is a congressman's duty to ensure that his or her district receives its fair share of federal infrastructure dollars. In Washington, I will fight for the Brent Spence and other important projects in our district. In addition, another area for creating jobs lies in the defense and aerospace sectors. Southwest Ohio is a leading hub of aircraft engine manufacturing and is home to the Aeronautical Systems Center at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. As the area from GE's plant in Evadale to Wright-Pat continues to develop, I envision a profitable and productive defense and aerospace corridor. Ohio is the home of the Wright brothers and great space pioneers like John Glenn and Neil Armstrong. It is only fitting for Southwest Ohio to lead the way in defense and aerospace research, engineering, and manufacturing. My other top priorities are: 1. Investing in a public education system to get America back to the top of the world rankings. We need well-trained teachers and well-prepared students to be ready to tackle the challenges of a changing world. For this reason, vocational training is critical as well. Millions of American jobs are unfilled because of shortfalls in skills and training. Skilled blue-collar jobs offer high wages to qualified individuals and are a necessary part of economic progress. 2. I pledge to protect senior citizens who have paid into Social Security and Medicare for their entire working lives. Many of Ohio's seniors depend on these programs for their livelihood. I am concerned because, true to his ranking as the #1 most extreme conservative member of the Congress, my opponent believes we should privatize Social Security and voted for a budget plan that would destroy Medicare as we know it. There's a clear contrast here. I strongly support Social Security and Medicare, while my opponent has supported far-right proposals that jeopardize these programs. Finally, as an Air Force pilot veteran, I will stand up for veterans and support legislation that helps veterans, especially ensuring they have dependable access to health care. My opponent voted for the Iraq War and now supports sending troops into harm's way again, but has consistently failed to support legislation for veterans' health care needs and other benefits. I'm Fred Condrada, and I sincerely ask for your support and vote on November 4th. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sean Patrick Feeney and I am your candidate for Hamilton County Commissioner. I bring a unique mix of business experience and technical expertise to the table, as well as a different viewpoint than my opponent. For far too long, former Cincinnati City Councilmen like my opponent have viewed the commission as a soft, easygoing retirement gig. Rather than investing the time to truly make a difference in our community, he moved commission meetings to his lunch hour so he could continue working full-time at GE. He's pulling down 2 full-time salaries, one of them paid by you, the taxpayer, and you are not receiving a positive return on your investment. It's time to elect someone from outside of the city of Cincinnati to represent county views on the county commission. I live in the city of North College Hill, where I was the former secretary of the mayor's task force on land reuse. I've been actively involved in my community since I was a child, growing up in Covington and graduating with honors from Holmes High School. I have a bachelor's degree in software engineering from Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, the top undergraduate engineering college in America, and on the weekends I'm finishing up my MBA at Wright State's Mason campus. As a technology consultant, I have transformed the infrastructure of Fortune 500 companies up and down the East Coast and across the Midwest, and that experience has prepared me to help transform our county infrastructure for the better. Remember to vote Feeney on November 4th. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Bonsell, and I'm running for Hamilton County Commissioner because I want to make Hamilton County a great place to live, work, and raise a family. I grew up here in Hamilton County, and I had many opportunities, and I want to give our children and our families those same opportunities today. I'm running for Hamilton County Commissioner because I think that we can make Hamilton County the best county in America. And to do that, we need to make sure that we're running county government as efficient and as effectively as possible. We have to keep our taxes low. We have to keep our costs in check. We need to make sure that we're doing business that's attractive for families and businesses to move here. You know, just like our families and businesses in Hamilton County, our county government has to be run the same way. We've been through some tough economic times, and we need to make sure that we live within our means. We can't spend what we don't have. It is your money. It's not the government's money. We need to make sure that we take care of it properly, just like you do with your family or your business. We need to make sure that we live within our means and spend it wisely. And we're doing that at Hamilton County. We've come up with new initiatives such as a red tape cutter, which is a position where we're trying to help facilitate businesses and families who want to get building permits or building plans approved through the county system. We've heard time and time again how difficult that has been. And so with this red tape cutter position, we have a person who's going to be able to help those individuals who either want to put a new deck on their house or build a new garage, or a business who wants to put a new building in Hamilton County. We want to make that process as quickly and as fast as possible. To that end, we're also opening up satellite offices in the county, one in Colerain Township that's currently open, and also we're going to put one in Anderson Township where we can review plans and permits so folks don't have to come downtown to do that, but actually can do it out in the community to make it easier to do business here. Hamilton County is open for business, and we want to make sure we're attractive to add new folks, families and businesses to live here and work here. Also, we're trying to make sure that we keep our costs low. Currently, we have the Metropolitan Sewer District, which is under a consent decree by the federal government. The Environmental Protection Agency has put us in a consent decree where we want to make upgrades to our system of sewers. Basically, the sewer system was built many, many years ago and have combined sewer overflows, whereby we have sanitary sewers being combined with our storm sewers. And with that, we have backups in people's basements and in backyards. The EPA's come in and said we must fix this and mandated us to do it at a cost of about $3.2 billion. That's $3.2 billion with a B. And that's in 2006 dollars. If you look at it in 2014 dollars, that's almost $4 billion it's going to cost us to fix the system. And that is paid for not by income tax, not by sales tax, not by property taxes, but actually by the rates that you're paying in your water bill. And if you look at your water bill today, folks, it's really not a water bill anymore, it's a sewer bill. 2/3 of the cost in that water bill goes to fixing the sewers, 1/3 just for water. So what we need to do in order to keep those rates as low as possible, we need to keep the cost of the programs as low as possible. So we've been looking at coming up with alternatives on how we do the sewer upgrades so that we can keep our costs low. Because if we can keep them low, we keep the rates low, which will help our families and our businesses in Hamilton County. So I ask for your vote on November 4th to continue fighting for your dollars to protect them at the county and to make sure that we make Hamilton County what I believe is the best county in America for folks who want to live, work, or raise a family. And that's why I'm running for county commissioner. Thank you.